Hello and welcome back to Life Beyond Limits for Women. Surya Silva speaking. This is Module 2 and Lesson 1. The focus for today is to become aware of the thoughts and the habits that are no longer relevant in your life and then discover what you can do about them. That's the very best part. In the previous module, you looked at where you are in your life right now. You focused on the 4 quadrants of your life, and you wrote in detail what you're wanting to create in this life of yours beyond limits. The next step in becoming an unstoppable woman, creating this marvelous life, is to investigate old habits and beliefs. You'll be able to identify which ones are running your life, understanding the power of your mind even more deeply as you replace the old ones with new thoughts and beliefs. You've probably heard people say that we use around 10 to 20% of our brain at the most. That leaves an enormous capacity for all of us to evolve and to expand our potential and be more of who we really are. I really enjoy studying neuroscience and study with NeuroGym. Through that program, I've learned that in fact, we actually use 100% of our mind. However, 5% of that is conscious and 95% of it is in the subconscious mind. I'm going to talk to you about that now in a bit of detail. If you look at the image on your screen, you've probably seen the iceberg visual, whereby most of the iceberg is underwater. 95% of your subconscious mind is that part that's under the water and not so easy to access. Only 5% is above the water and your conscious mind. Keep that image alive because it reinforces to you so clearly about the power of the mind that we're discussing today. You see, we actually have one brain and 2 minds. There's the conscious and the subconscious minds. The conscious mind gives the directions, and yet it has really limited self-awareness. We think that all of our awareness comes from our conscious mind. That's a false belief. You might know lots and lots of things intellectually, and you might think that if you know more and more, you'll be able to manage your life more easily. Unfortunately, it's not how it works. The subconscious mind is the part of you that follows orders. It drives the emotions and operates on the least possible effort because it hates change. It becomes a bit like cement, stuck, really solid. Have you ever wondered why life seems so easy for some people and much harder for others? Have you ever wondered why you repeat some of your own same patterns of behavior, and perhaps you saw them in your parents? Or why do you keep doing the same things over and over and over? Remember the fish in the baking pan story from our last module? Both the mothers learnt from their mother to cut off the head and the tail of the fish so that they could, and then they did the same. We all do that in our life too. We learn through genetic programming, conditioning, and we repeat those same things because it's in the subconscious part of the mind and we have little awareness about it. I know that in my own life I had to really learn this. The women with whom I've worked for so long have had to really learn it as well. Because you see, when you repeat patterns of behavior over and over and over, you realize there has to be a deeper reason for it. You might ask yourself, why do I keep doing this? And I keep hoping there will be something different in the outcome. It rarely happens. However, this is the information that will tell you how to really shift those old patterns. You see, let's have a look at these habits and beliefs. These are the ones that have gone into your subconscious mind. They've been reinforced over and over and over. And as little babies and young children, you have no resistance to what's going on. You don't know the difference between fact and fiction. And whatever is being absorbed, whatever's being repeated so many times, you absorb and it goes into the subconscious mind and you take on all those beliefs and habits as though they are real. The subconscious mind doesn't have any discernment. It doesn't know the difference between what's real and what isn't. That's why we were talking in the last module about how you instruct yourself over and over in terms of what you want or don't want, and that's what you end up with, because the subconscious mind follows the orders of your instructions. Because it follows that path of least resistance, it doesn't like change, it's set in its ways. And we use that expression quite a bit, don't we? Oh, you're set in your ways. And we are set, really, because all those thoughts have gone in and have lodged themselves there, below the surface of the water, below the surface of your conscious mind. Part of that 95%, though, is also what keeps us alive. It keeps you breathing, it keeps all the organs functioning, it keeps the blood going around your body, it keeps your digestive processes in the gut working properly, it keeps you in good health. At the same time, it's where your habits and beliefs and stories reside. What Bob Proctor calls your paradigms. If you take on board that you have one brain and two minds, a conscious and a subconscious mind, this is how it works. Consciously you want something and subconsciously you don't. Or it could be the other way around, that consciously you don't want something and subconsciously you do. However, there's this tug of war that goes on between the conscious and the subconscious minds. You can see that happening in your own life sometime. This tug of war that you see by the experiences that you're having and the outcomes you're experiencing with your life. You want to do something and you pull back, or you don't want to do something and there's a push to do it. You see, change only happens when both those parts of the mind, the conscious and the subconscious minds, are in agreement. They have to be brought into balance, into alignment. And obviously, if 95% of your subconscious mind is below the surface of the water and 5% has any degree of consciousness or understanding, you have to really dig in to understand how to bring them into balance. You see, some research says that the subconscious mind is possibly 30,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. Isn't that extraordinary? That you're operating mostly out of habits that went into your system so long ago. It provides some understanding about how you think and feel the way you do. And it gives you some clues as to how you might be able to change the things in your life that you want to change. You see, those beliefs have been reinforced over and over and over by what you say to yourself and what you believe as being real that you see in our society. Once you understand this, it's so exciting because it's the key to being able to really start to shift in the direction that you want to go. When the subconscious and the conscious minds are in conflict, you're living in default mode. Remember from our first module, you're living either by design or by default. Working only out of old habits and old paradigms, you're living in default mode. You're going along with those patterns of behavior, hoping for a different outcome. And mostly it doesn't work. That just leads to disappointment and frustration. And it leads to you giving up or settling for what you know. That's a really limiting way of living. However, it is possible to change it. That's what you're learning here. That's the exciting part. You can change the way you think and build your awareness by taking actions. And once you understand how it all works, you'll realize that you actually have all the wisdom and information that you require in any given situation. You have it all inside of you. And when you tap into that part of yourself, transformation can take place instantly. That's really exciting, isn't it? I find that really exciting. Because as you gain awareness and you begin to recognize these old habits that are still controlling your life, you learn the power to change them. In Neurogym, we learnt that we all have what's called a habit loop in the mind. This is when you think the same things over and over and over, and they go around and around like a broken record. It doesn't go anywhere other than around again. Someone might say to you, change the channel. It's like on a radio. You want to tune into a different frequency. or a television station where you want to change the channel to. You're wanting to tune into a different frequency now because you're changing the channel of your outdated mindset. In the next lesson, we'll focus on what you can do to change the channel, so to speak. So thank you so much. See you in the next lesson, and bye for now.